When we look at times like we're facing today, where it's more important than ever to maintain personal connections and relationships, I want you to remember all of these people, your staff, your guests, your vendors, your partners, owners of condos, owners of businesses, the community at large, and certainly your colleagues. And colleagues means not just your colleagues in the region, but colleagues worldwide. You have an opportunity to reach out, and those can become ambassadors for your company and also potentially influence customers and customers themselves. So I think with what we're facing today, the first step is that you have to prepare yourself, because you cannot be an ostrich. You can't put your head in the sand and pretend that this is not happening, because it is happening and it's very real. And so I think now we have an amazing opportunity to sort of take stock in yourself, in your brand. Let's look at your vision. The vision that you had 60 days ago is likely not as relevant as it should be today, because we're facing different times, and this is a worldwide event that face everyone. So I'm asking you to take a moment, look at your vision, look at your strategy and your plans, and you really need to visit your marketing plans, because if you're like us, most of us have had to abandon all of your existing marketing, public relations, social plans because they're not relevant today. They will be relevant eventually, but I think for the moment, we're in this interim time. And what you don't want to do, what you don't want to do with your customer base and socially is have this tremendous dip. So even though our surroundings, our circumstances have done that, like we came to a screeching halt in March, we were full on looking at the best times of our lives, and then all of a sudden the world kind of crashed. But that doesn't mean that you have to, and that doesn't mean that you have to lose the momentum that you've built up with your customers and with your network. But what you have to do is change your message, right? Now, we do want to acknowledge the current situation, but you don't want to be negative. You want to set a very positive tone of hope and compassion. And I'm going to show you some ways that we've done that, and that I think you can also do that. I also wanted to mention your public relations teams, your social media teams. Now, some of you may not have that. You may not have a PR team, and you may not have a social team, but you know what? You have friends and you have a network. You're part of TCHTA. You might be part of the Chamber of Commerce. There's people in those groups who can help you if you don't have those resources. If you have those resources, let's say you have a public relations team, and because of the circumstances, you had to let them go temporarily. Guess what? They're still your team. If they've been with you for any amount of time, it's perfectly okay to go back to them and say, I need your help. Because these are professionals who their expertise is conceptualizing visions, right? And if you go to them with your current circumstance, and they should be familiar with your brand anyway, ask them for help. There's no shame in that, because we're all in this boat together, and it's only in their best interest to help you now, hoping that in the future there's an opportunity to go back to the place that they were. Last but not least, deciding how you're going to stay in touch. Now, I'm going to talk to you today about several different opportunities, and all of which I think are valuable, and I think you should consider all of them. But what I don't want you to do is go out and try to do everything, and then nothing seems to work, because you've just spread yourself a little bit too thin. Because again, we're facing times right now where we're doing a lot of the work ourselves. Let's look at also your personal brand versus the corporate brand. Now more than ever, both really do matter, because in the times that we're facing now, where businesses have been suspended, we don't have the access to the resources that we used to have, you're selling yourself. Where before you were representing a brand, now you are the brand. You have to become the brand, and that has to resonate through in your messaging with your customers. Pivoting is exceptional at this moment. Now is the perfect opportunity. What do you want to be when you come out of this? You need to ask yourself that. How do you want to be perceived? You don't want to have dipped and been forgotten. You definitely want to be remembered, and you want people to have remembered how you handled the situation and how great you were in staying in touch and remaining relevant, even though maybe your business is closed, right? Create a dashboard for yourself. And I cannot overemphasize this enough. If you don't plan And if you don't have a goal set each day, it becomes very difficult to stay motivated and to stay on track. Most of us are working from home, and that's a very different environment. There's all sort of external disturbances and things going on around us that are beyond our control. You have kids, you have dogs, you have different situations that are causing you to be distracted all the time. So if you sit down mentally, create this dashboard, and then update it weekly. Sit down and evaluate your own self. How did I do? Did I accomplish anything? And maybe you need to modify it. Maybe what you're trying isn't necessarily the best avenue for your particular situation, so you have an opportunity to update it. I think it's very important that when we think about our clients and our customers right now, you have to think about what their needs are. Don't think about the fact that you want to remain in touch and engaged. It's a two-way street right now because they're going through the same thing that we are. So where their needs might have been one thing before based on sales and statistics, now it's a very different need that they have. Everybody is emotional and everybody needs hope and enthusiasm and optimism to look forward to. So think about that before you start all this outreach, because you're going to set a message and a tone that is very specific, and then you need to maintain it throughout the process. Don't try to promote anything specific. We're used to that. I'm in sales and marketing, and I love promoting rooms and destination and beach and staff and restaurants. And so in my mind, I'm promoting things that are extremely tangible. Right now, you're promoting an untangible concept. And what is that concept? It's a human connection. It's staying relevant. It's showing compassion. It's showing hope and optimism for the future. That's what you're really promoting. And when you make this connection with these customers and you can promote that, you will be stronger than ever before as we start to come out of this together, right? Educate your teams. It's easy to stay in touch with Zoom. Most people have internet or access to internet. Get on Zoom calls or just pick up the phone and call them. Make sure you're on the same page, because optics matter now more than ever. People are visually seeing things on social media. They're seeing things, they're hearing things. So you want to make sure that everybody in your network is pretty much on the same page. Change your metrics today and crush it later. And what that means is very simple. Your metric today might be average daily rate. It might be occupancy. It might be your forward booking pace. If you're in real estate, it might be how many sales you've generated or how many leads. Change that thought process for today, because for today, what matters the most is just making that connection, maintaining that connection as strongly as you can from a human, compassionate standpoint, and then crush it later, because then you've built a base of followers and engaged network, right? That is so much easier. Instead of dipping down and then climbing your way back up, keep that consistent level all the way through, so that when we emerge into different days, you haven't really lost any momentum. You've still got that same opportunity. And in fact, what you've done is you've strengthened all your relationships. Today is about compassion and hope. We said that. One voice, that's one voice for your brand or for your company. Be a voice of authority. In other words, know what you're talking about and what you want to talk about. And that's why I said create a vision. Like, think about what that vision is and what you know and how you're going to promote it, how you're going to say it, and then demonstrate it through your messaging, through your communications, and so forth. Don't try to talk about things that you don't know about. If they want to know about the health implications and the medical side and the politics, that might not be your forte, and you might not be an authority on that. So you want to be a voice of authority on what you know, your brand, your message, your team, your destination. Make sure you're a voice of authority on that. It's an opportunity to be innovative, and I'm going to show you some examples of what I think is innovative ways to get messaging out there. Give something, share your talents, just like me today. I'm not an expert on this, but I think I'm pretty good at human connections and maintaining relationships with customers and outreach. So I decided it would be great to share that with you, because the more that we can all do this together, the better. Lend personal and professional experiences. Like I said, if someone calls you and they need some help, they need help writing a paragraph, or maybe they don't quite understand the whole social media thing, Share your time, share your talent, share your experiences. It will come back to you in spades. And quality over quantity. I can't overemphasize that enough. Again, you don't want to just be blasting out things to draw attention to yourself. You want it to be meaningful and you want it to be purpose driven. In a time of social distancing, touching with our hearts and with our souls is the most important thing. At the moment, that matters more than anything else. So I want you to look at your brand. Now, your brand might be your corporate brand, it might be your personal brand, and it might be a combination of both. And I think it's important that you understand what this looks like, because when you start to go out with your vision and your message, you want to have a very specific tone. Now, not to say that at some point in the whole process that you would not touch upon each one of these, but I think you're, depending on your business and depending on your personality, and depending on what you're trying to do, it's very easy to latch onto these personal connections. That one's pretty straightforward. Beauty. Beauty can be anything from nature to architecture to physical beauty. So there's so many elements around beauty that you could actually latch onto. Adventure, laughter. These are all wide-ranging topics that would allow you to sort of focus and synergize your message a little bit and have some consistency, if you will. And it also gives you ideas. Like looking at this right off the top of my head for Turks and Caicos and for most of the businesses in the country, I can slot in opportunities with each one of those. Also, because virtual is king, virtual with social distancing, virtual is really the only way right now. So you want to get creative with your virtual outreach. What I don't recommend is using the same photos over and over and over. We all have beautiful photos of the beach. We have beautiful photos of our restaurants and our hotels and our spas, but those right now are not as relevant as making the connection, because it's harder for people right now to imagine. You want them to dream about it and you don't want to abandon it. I'm not saying don't ever use them, but I think if you use it every day with a different message and the same photo over and over, eventually it's going to get lost. So I've seen a bunch of really creative cooking classes, recipes, art, puppies, Zoom, happy hour. Zoom is king. And thank God we have it, because that has been a major way for us to stay in touch with staff, with owners, with guests, with my friends, with my family. Everybody is Zooming all over the place, and you should be too. If you're not, I recommend you download Zoom and get to familiarize yourself with it, because you will absolutely love it. And then of course, exercise and fitness right now is a perfect opportunity for everybody to be taking advantage. So like I said, communication is key. Obviously, social media is king, queen, and everything in between. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn, and YouTube. I know you've heard all of these, and you all may be experts, and you all may know more about these than I do. But what I realized in putting this presentation together, the things that I knew that I forgot, and I reminded myself, oh yeah, I can do that. Oh yes, I can do that. And I actually also learned a lot along the way. And I had a little help too, thanks to Jennifer. I think she's on the call. She handles some of our social media for Shore Club, and she gave me a lot of tips and pointers on this as well, on what to share today. So let's just look at how do you spread your social messaging. I recommend you do all of these. But like I said early on, if you're not familiar with it, start with one. Just start with something that you feel comfortable with, and then start building into it. LinkedIn, you might say to yourself, that's a professional sort of platform. Why would I use LinkedIn to reach my customers? Well, I tell you why. You can join groups on LinkedIn. And you need a page. Let me just backtrack. You need to start with a profile. You must have a proper, go in, take the time, set it up, update it. If you're like me, mine lags for a long period of time, and then somebody has to remind me, Ms. Karen, go back and fix your LinkedIn page because it's way outdated. But you should keep it relevant and you should keep it up to date. And now, again, it's more important than ever. LinkedIn is not a platform for just looking for jobs. That's how it started. I believe it started more on that genre. But can I tell you today, the ILHA has a group forum on LinkedIn. There are 306,000 members. Now, this is a luxury hotelier hospitality network that we should all be familiar with, and we should all be joining that group. So now all of a sudden you've got access to 300,000 people. They're probably travel agents, they're hoteliers, they're everything else, but they're consumers. At the end of the day, that's a network that you want to be on, because it's a forum that you can ask questions. You can actually answer questions, like people will ask questions, you can answer and promote your own company through that network. Pinterest is amazing. 43% of all internet users have a Pinterest account. And I want you to remember that statistic, because it's staggering, right? Pinterest is one of these really fun platforms that you can do so many different things. It's an idea place. You can go if you want to know how to make the best dining room table look fantastic on a do-it-yourself, you can do that. But you can also learn a lot about destinations and vacations, and there's so many amazing group platforms on Pinterest, but you should also have your own as well. Facebook, as we know, that is the king of the social networking site, but it's also has the little business side to it, which are the groups. There's so many groups on Facebook. You should have your own page, and you can create your own group, but you can also join groups to ensure that you're broadening your reach and your exposure on Facebook. Try and pick as many Caribbean groups as you can. And there's an interesting thing that you can do with that, which I'll show you in just a second. Instagram. Instagram is a little more trendy, a little more younger demographic, a little more hip, but so relevant for us, especially in Turks and Caicos. The one thing about Instagram that's so important to remember is to decide your hashtags. Now you want your own hashtag, but you also want to go from general and very broad to specific. And I'll show you that in just a second. Twitter, amazing platform. And in the past, we have used Twitter a lot because travel agents tend to gravitate towards Twitter. It's that little 140 characters, quick messaging, quick outreach. But what's happening with Twitter today, it's very political. It's become, and if you look on the top trends, the top 10 trending stories for Twitter for the last probably 30 days, it's all surrounded around a bunch of negativity and a bunch of political views. So travel has kind of gotten pushed to the side for now. It will come back. So I still recommend that you have an account and that you familiarize yourself with Twitter, because there will be a day when you're going to want to jump back on it. I don't recommend right now spending any money on social ads until we have an opening date. Reason for that, and I'm talking about, these are pay-per-click ads. If you have SEO teams that are doing search engine optimization for you or for your company, they're buying ads. You know, when you pull up a website and you see this little ad in the corner, maybe you've seen the Palms. We do a lot of this PPC outreach. Maybe you go onto a Neiman Marcus, and on the corner you see that. So that is what we call a social ad or a PPC, pay-per-click ad. The purpose of those ads are really instant satisfaction. You're promoting a very specific promotion, a very specific element of your business, and you want instantly a click and a call to action. So those are so valuable for that. And again, hopefully sooner than later, there will come a time when we bridge back into that. But I want you to be familiar with what it is, because they're very inexpensive. They start at maybe 25 cents per click. And of course, it can move up based on volume, but it's one of the most affordable things that you can do ultimately with your business. Now, all of this is very overwhelming, but also, interestingly, there's these programs that I have here that can help you make your social engagement more efficient. Tailwindapp.com. Some of these are free, and some of them you pay per month, like $20 a month. But what it does, it links all your social accounts together. And then you, as an administrator, have the opportunity. Let's say I post something on Facebook. I can go into Tailwind and say, okay, here's my post. I also want it to appear on Pinterest, Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever. And so then you don't have to go to each individual app every single time. Now, you don't always want to do that, because sometimes I would post something and it's very Instagram specific because of the audience, because I'm used to the demographic and I see what they like. But this especially if you're doing this yourself, it does make things very efficient. So I already mentioned about the Pinterest boards. I mentioned about Facebook groups and so forth. So there's something on the groups and the boards that I wanted you to sort of be familiar with. And that is that if you have a Facebook group, let's just say you have a Turks and Caicos Facebook group and you're posting information on that group. I actually wanted to link and show you this, but unfortunately the technology is not working with me today, so I can't show you, but I wanted to tell you. So you can make a post on Facebook. If somebody likes that post in your group that you have, the Turks and Caicos group, you can actually scroll over their name and invite them to like your page. So let's just say for the club, I'm in a group, a Turks and Caicos group, Turks and Caicos Hotel Association group. I can actually scroll over that post and invite them to like my page. So that kind of gets into the little more complex side of it, and that's a more advanced next kind of a webinar, because this was really today to sort of touch base on the general specifics of how to do this, but I'm happy to share more on that later if anybody really wants to know. Virtual vacation, hashtag virtual vacation. It was brought to my attention yesterday that there is a site on Instagram that somebody started, and it's hashtag virtual vacation. Just as of yesterday already, and again, it's through this downtime where people have so much more screen time, 63,000 Instagram posts. So I was thinking, it's not being used on YouTube at all. So I know TCHTA has a YouTube channel, but I want to let you know that it is so easy to set up your own YouTube channel. And if you're worried about content, that's also a super easy thing to do, because you can actually pull content from other people. You can request to pull a video that I've produced for my hotels. You can request from the tourist board to promote their videos. You can request from TCHTA to promote their content on your YouTube channel. And at the end of the day, you create this playlist, and it's a conglomerate of amazing components that you feel represent your brand in the Turks and Caicos. And what it does, again, it increases your reach globally. So these Pinterest boards, one of my favorite ones is this Caribbean travel collection. So I just had screenshot to give you an idea what it looks like. 33,000 followers, and Turks and Caicos is included in that, right? So you should be joining this group. Now you have to ask, you go on Pinterest with your own account and you ask if you can join this group, right? I have the links here. I think the website will be shared later and you can take a look at it, because if I take you to it, I lose the screen. But basically this is just to give you an idea. There are hundreds of these types of groups on Pinterest that you can join all of them, and you can start your whole outreach reaching your customers, because a lot of these people that follow these groups are friends of the destination. They're people that have been to Turks and Caicos before or coming to Turks and Caicos. So as a matter of fact, they are for sure your customers. Here's another group that I love, I Belong on a Beach. This is a Facebook group which you all should join and follow and make posts. This has been around since 2016 and is something like 130,000 followers on this group. So again, it's a beach, could be a beach anywhere in the world, but you have an opportunity to get Turks and Caicos in there. There are stories to be told. And for me, storytelling right now is truly the best way to make an impact and to engage and to even to open up a dialogue or a conversation, right? Because the one thing that you probably don't want to do is to call somebody up, how you doing? We already know how they're doing, right? We know how we're doing, so we know how they're doing. So what you want to do is approach it from something positive, something organic. And a story is really the best way. And there's so many different ways that we can tell stories about ourselves, about our product, about our friends, about our staff, about the destination. Set up a webcam and promote it. That's a super easy thing to do. Now, because of the curfew, you might not be able to right now. You may have an ability to do it. If you have an ocean view, just put it out on your balcony and do a little, just a 30-second message and show that, which is amazing. When your business is open, do Facebook Live. Make sure you have your Facebook page set up, and let's really start engaging with a whole lot of Facebook Live sessions, right? Recipe sharing right now is hugely popular. It is so huge because you know what? It's something that we all love. Like, I'm a closet baker, so with the chance now to actually share some of that recipes that I love is amazing for me, and I get excited about it. So then people get excited because they feel your enthusiasm. Bimini Big Game Club in Bahamas recently shared their famous recipe for Bimini bread on their website. And can you look at this? In a very short time, almost 30,000 engagements. I mean, that thing went viral because everybody loves that bread, right? And it's such a fun way to, again, engage. And you're sharing something, you're giving something, right? You're actually giving something, you're promoting something popular. Websites, podcasts, totally exploding. Make webinars, make sure that if you do one, and I think you should try one, and you can actually do one and record it on your computer and look at it and decide if it's something that you feel comfortable doing. Just make sure it's interesting, make sure it's relevant, make sure you're an authority on what you're talking about, and it's fun. You want to make it fun. Promote your staff. I have been on so many Zoom calls, webinars, individual calls over the last few weeks, and resoundingly, our partners are asking about our team. They're asking about people in Turks and Caicos that they know. Even if they haven't developed a close relationship, it's all about the people right now. And your people are your greatest asset. We are each other's greatest asset, and your teams for sure are your greatest asset. So try and make some personal connections. Your team, your housekeeper at home, she can just take her phone and do a little selfie and send it to you with a little message that you could share. They can do boomerangs. Some of them are way more advanced than others. I mean, I have some of my staff sending me the most amazing, cool videos. They're doing the TikTok challenges, and these are really fun, and they're so cool and creative, right? So I'm excited about sharing all of that. Right now, the tourist board in Turks and Caicos is producing a video, and I'm so excited about this. It's going to be a beautiful presentation and a fabulous message of compassion and hope. And the whole purpose of it is just to stay relevant and to remind the public that, listen, we're here, we're with you, and we miss you, and we look forward to seeing you soon. So once that comes out, that's in very short order. We're going to share that with all of you, and I want you to be please sharing that on all your pages, because it's a very positive message about the destination. So I'm going to take a second and say, be different, be different. I have a selling style, if you will. My normal style would be to present and talk. I'm used to showing elements of the product that I'm selling or the destination that I'm representing, right? This is a time where we need to turn the table around a little bit and listen. Listen to your staff, listen to your customers, listen to your travel partners. What are they telling you? And I think you could even be proactive and set up a forum and say, okay, we're going to do a Facebook forum, and I want you to tell me X, Y, and Z. Give them some questions about the future of travel. What does it look like? What are your needs right now? What are your needs going to be in 30 days, 60 days? And you listen to them, and you let them give you a roadmap, right? They're basically going to share a lot of information with you, and you can use that to set your strategies and plan your marketing events for the future. Take the time also to learn about your guests. If you have any sort of reservation system, historical data on your previous guests, dig into that right now and do some comparisons. You can actually see where you have some overlaps on social media with those existing database, right? And then figure out how you're going to target those in the future. Promotions and contests are really good. I would do them sparingly. I don't want to see a whole lot of promotion and contests out there. And you definitely don't want to give away hotel stays. You don't want to give away the big thing. Make it fun and engaging, like a photo contest or a slogan or a hashtag contest or something that anybody could just quickly, and then give away something, an experience within the destination, like a spa treatment. Okay, so that means they got to come here to get the spa treatment, or a dinner at a restaurant. They got to come here to get that, right? And then for these contests, there's a shortstack.com is a platform that will help you create those. Because let's say, for instance, on your Facebook page, you would have at the top tabs, right? So we have tabs on our Facebook page. Like, for instance, the Shore Club, you can see the restaurant, you can see the spa, you can see a potential contest on the Facebook page. This program will help you develop those and create those effectively. I mentioned already, hashtags are a great idea. And just to break it down, well, right now, screen time, and this is no surprise. In fact, I may be surprised that it's as low as it is. Screen time is up 77% across all channels. We're at home all day long. What are we doing? We're on the computer, right? That is our gateway to the world right now. So everybody is on all these platforms that I just told you about, and they're spending a lot of time, and they're looking for interesting content. Right now, you need to be focused on hashtags that are relevant to today. And you can do a search. You can go on Instagram in the search and just do hashtag, let's just say hashtag Caribbean, and it will show you the top most engaging hashtags for now. In this together, hashtag in this together, hashtag dream now, travel later. You know, these are the types of hashtags that when you're posting on social media, you want to be using all of these. And why? Let's just say, pick any one of these. You look beach, I put the word beach, and that's very, very broad and very general. But if somebody goes on a search and they say, best beach in the Caribbean, and you've hashtagged beach, you have a chance at coming up, because these will drive customers to your sites, right, across the whole social platform. So I just put some fun ones here. I did a Instagram hashtag search, and a lot of these have 60, 70, 80,000 plus engagements. So they're really important. But the other important thing is to have your own hashtag. Like, you want to make sure that let's just say for the Palms, for instance, we have a couple of hashtags, the Palms TC, and that's our primary hashtag. However, we have some fun ones too. Like, I have hashtag Palms Paradise. And so what I do every time I post, I'm using our key hashtags every single time, because you want to eventually build up the value of those hashtags so that when people are searching and following, they come up. But you also want to make sure that you're using the top trending ones as well. So I wanted to now tie this all together of what I've been saying in terms of your message and in terms of some social platforms. So I thought what I would do is just show you some examples, some very recent examples that I love. So I asked you in the beginning, what does your message look like, right? And once you decide what that message is, storytelling, okay? Now, I love this partnership between Digicel and Tess. You all know her. She's amazing. She's a fascinating artist. She's also a very well-spoken ambassador for Digicel. So Digicel has done something very smart here. They engaged her. She's already an ambassador, but they're taking it to the next level. So they're playing off of the fact of what our current situation is today. And it says right there, quarantine mornings with Tess. So she comes on at home with her phone and records herself talking about topics of the day. She does this, I think, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Talks about topics, and it's fun. It's a Facebook Live event, and it's engaging, and it's lighthearted, and she's such a great entertainer, as we all know, but it's tied back now to what? To the Digicel brand. So there's storytelling, but they're also, it's community support, it's so many things. It's so powerful, and I really think this is an amazing thing that they have done. You can do the same. I was thinking about this last night. Let's just say you're in real estate, right? As a hypothetical, and you're asking yourself, how would I do something like this, right? Well, you all know Chef Nick, Crackpot Kitchen. He is one of the biggest, boldest personalities in the country. And so he represents so many different things, right? But especially cooking. He's a fabulous chef. He's also a fabulous entertainer. So I thought, why wouldn't you host? Because most real estate agents have Instagram sites and they're very active on Instagram. So why wouldn't you host an Instagram live session with Chef Nick and you promote in advance? This is what I'm doing. Everybody, chef's at home, but he's still cooking and he's going to show us tomorrow how to make conch fritters, right? Now it's you hosting it. So your real estate brand hosting something very different. So I'm trying to give you ideas here how to link that as an opportunity because, and how does it tie back to your customers? Hopefully your customers are following you on Instagram and this is something fun. So this is not, you're not listing the house for sale with a sale price, but you're driving them to you as an individual. And so you're increasing the value of your own brand. I love to storytell and I love art. So when this whole curfew started, I said, I'm going to spend the next 21 days going through my house, right? And picking out things that are special to me. I have a lot of keepsakes and treasures, I call it, from around the world. I have art. And some of it is big, small, little, and it's not really about the piece, it's about the story. For me, it's about the story behind how I got that, where it came from, why do I have it, why do I love it so much? I cannot even begin to tell you the engagement that took place because of this small little campaign. And it's a simple thing. I just take a picture with my phone and I sit down and I write a very short, like little story about the history and the background of this piece. You cannot imagine the personal messages that I've gotten from travel agents, from customers, from guests, from everybody that they love it and they think it's a great diversion and they're so interested in, you know, the history of it and they want to come to my house and actually see the real thing because they're just so intrigued with this whole concept. It's simple. It takes like 30 minutes a day to do it and you're reaching I see people engaging on this that have never touched my Facebook page. I know they're on there. I see them in other, but they've never actually touched anything with me, and now I've reached a whole new and different audience. This was actually the first one that I did. This is a glass plate from France, which is one of my favorite pieces and favorite treasures, and the story behind it is amazing, but you got to go to my Facebook page to see it. So here now, this is TCHTA. We have a sales and marketing group that's on a WhatsApp group. We're very active with each other because we're all competitors, but we're not. We're actually colleagues and very dear friends. So we work together to promote the destination and our hotels and everything that we have to offer here. So we have this amazing group. We meet once a week on Zoom and we're on WhatsApp. So we've created these Friday happy hours for our guests. And so what we've done through TCHTA is every Friday, we'll have 3 or 4 hotels, a couple of allied members, and because we want to keep it small group. We want to keep it small enough that we can give a lot of attention to our partners. And so each person gets to invite one travel partner to come to our Friday happy hour Zoom. So what are we doing? We're strengthening personal connections. So our first one happened to be last Friday. It was resoundingly successful. People had so much fun. And one of the persons on the Zoom is one of our top partners from Classic Vacations. He said, I wasn't on this Zoom because mine's coming up later, but he sent me a note and he just thought this was the best idea he's ever seen. He had so much fun. It was relaxed. It's a happy hour setting and everybody enjoyed it. This is, most of you know Scott Kyle. He's in Florida. He works at Grace Bay Resorts. So he's got these amazing photos of he and his husband biking in Florida, because that's one thing that you can do. And he talks about, they did 25 miles this morning. It's an adventure thing. So again, he's just reaching out from a personal brand level on what am I doing, right? And this is fun. Look at this photo. Both of these people work for Heartland Group. And of course, we have our exercise time in the afternoon, 5 to 7. They're actually on hotel bikes, and look at the fun that they're having. So this one actually transcends across a lot of these messages. Laughter, it's a bit dreamy. It's certainly romantic, and it's just fun. And the message is simple. The image is amazing and fun. This was, of course, beautiful flowers around the Turks and Caicos Island. And I took these shots around because I go biking every day in the exercise time from 5 to 7. And so one day I kept seeing all these beautiful pink flowers. So I just pulled out my phone literally and started snapping, and I put together a really nice collage of just beautiful pink flowers, right, that people can enjoy. Now, this is one of the most brilliant social, I'm going to call it events that I've probably ever seen and ever will see. Doubletree Hotel by Hilton serves these amazing chocolate chip cookies. Now, there's a couple of things about this post that I really want to draw your attention to because I think it's important. For the first time, Doubletree by Hilton reveals official chocolate chip cookie recipe so bakers can create the warm, welcoming treat at home. Now, who would have thought a hotel chain, a brand hotel chain, of all the things that they're going to promote, not destinations, not rooms, cookies, right? And it's not even a cookie in their restaurant. It's a cookie that is at their front desk. If you've ever stayed at one of these hotels, and it is quite amazing when you walk in, you smell, because they bake it right there. It's all optics, right? But what I find so compelling about this post is that it says here, and remember I talked about how important your vision is, your message, your tone, right? So what they're saying here for the first time, right? So there's something big about that. Doubletree by Hilton reveals, right? Official chocolate chip cookie recipe so bakers can create the warm, welcoming. Look at what they're saying. It is so powerful. They're saying to me everything that I need to hear right now. I need to hear all of that. I need warm. I need welcome, right? Revealing is a little mysterious, and I want to know, oh, what it is. This thing went so viral, and if you Google it, I mean, it's just like page after page after page. Every media house picked it up. It's across every social. Individuals are sharing it with each other. I mean, it's just gone wild. And so I just want to use this as to really demonstrate to you how simple they are using this concept to reach their customers. You can do the same. Just think about some of these cool elements that you could latch onto and make a story. They've done it all here. They've told stories, they've made personal connection. They've done it all very successfully all over a chocolate chip cookie, right? Escape, right? We are careful right now how we're promoting the island because, again, you don't want to promote anything specific because we really can't do a call to action, and it doesn't make a lot of sense right now just to be promoting a specific promotion. But like Mona has done here, she just took a couple of really cool shots at the sands with her phone. On the boardwalk, not on the beach because we're not allowed to go on the beach, but see the message. Seems like Mother Nature knows that it's Earth Week. So she's latching on to an event, which is Earth Week, Earth Day. She's taking some cool shots, and these are not professional photos. These are, again, I think right now you can use your professional photos very sparingly, but what is king are these kind of things. And so it's just something. And if you'll notice, in 1 hour, on Facebook, 142 likes, 13 comments, 8 shares. I mean, people really latched onto this because it's pretty, it's fun, it's tying into something that matters to everyone, the earth and the environment. We all know Delthea, and I was, when I talk about personal goals as one of your messages, maybe you have 10 personal goals that you've wanted to do for so long and never had the time to do it. Now is the time to do it. And look what she's done. She started out, hi guys, please join me as I crochet today. And what is her hashtag? One simple hashtag, lockdown, right? And so she did a phase 2 and a phase 3 with it. And it's so fun. And she's really good. Like, this is a video, so she's talking and she's showing you through the video how to do this crocheting, and it's actually a lot of fun and engaging. Storytelling again, but also a little bit of recipes, a little bit of other things. You've got Scott again. He's very good on social media, and he is showing you how to bake, and the little snippets in the corner are actually videos. Lindsay Minson, we all know Retreat Kitchen, and we love Retreat. Well, look what she's doing. She's doing some online classes, which I will be attending, by the way. And so we have a chance to go there and learn maybe some of the secrets of those fabulous things that she creates in her kitchen that we want. Paradise Photography. amazing tie-in that they did here. It was National Pet Day, right? Now, if you know Paradise Photography, you know that they're very well known for wedding photography, for beautiful architectural photography in our resorts and in our villas and so forth, and beach images. And so their forte is not really dogs and puppies and pets, but they have done some of this. They've done some amazing photography with pets. Two of which of these pets happen to be mine, so I'm a little bit biased on it. But even still, it was an amazing post that they did in celebrating an event. Again, it's an event, National Pet Day. So they're linking into an emotional tug here. Everybody loves animals, and they have some amazing photography of animals. And we have Pot Cake Place. You've got a lot of supporters of Pot Cake Place. So what does it do? It reminds you that they're here and that they're doing amazing things. So this brings me to the end of the session, because I promise, I'm watching my clock very closely, so we leave some time for questions and answers. And again, I just want to reiterate, this is not intended to be a comprehensive, you could never do a comprehensive plan in 1 hour. And I know I've talked fast and I've highlighted a lot of points, and I hope that some of it made sense to you. But take some time and think about those key things, your vision, your brand, and just latch on to 1 or 2 of the elements that you can really make a connection with your customers right now. Stay connected. When this is all over, we will all be closer than ever. We will be closer than ever. You should be closer than ever to your customers, the ones that you've maintained dialogue and relationships with. Above all, our partnerships remain our foremost priority. For me, there's nothing more valuable right now than the partnerships that I have, and that's all the people that I listed in the beginning of the webinar. We must genuinely value those, not just relationships, but friendships as well. You have to look at it that way. We're all in this together. We stand ready to assist each other in any way possible. So I wish you and all your loved ones good health and best wishes always. So now at this point, I think, Sonia, I turn it back to you, and I'm happy